everyone, it's Lexi. In today's video I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Girl You Left Behind by Jojo Moyes, and this is a book that I just finished reading a couple days ago and I fell in love with it. So basically the premise of the story, it follows two storylines. A girl named Sophie who lives in France during World War I. She is forced to open her hotel to the Germans there who are occupying her village, and while she's there, a commandant becomes very kind of obsessed with a portrait that her husband painted of her several years ago, and from there kind of a dangerous relationship forms. And then flash forward to present day, we follow a girl named Liv who now is the owner of this painting, and which was gifted to her by her husband who passed away a couple years ago. And her life kind of gets turned upside down when the original painter's family is now demanding that this picture or this portrait was stolen by the Germans during World War I and are trying to get it back. So this kind of unfolds to like a legal battle. So this kind of premise is very similar to kind of the Woman in Gold movie, if you're familiar with that. So it's kind of a similar premise where it's like a kind of like a court battle about the painting and it's true kind of what happened to it. So I think that was really interesting to begin with. And so starting off, I was really engrossed with Sophie's story, just how it was depicting life in France during World War I. Well, I've read a lot of World War II books, so I wasn't as familiar with World War I, so it was nice to kind of see kind of the World War II aspect of France during this time, and I fell in love with Sophie right away. I love how we kind of get glimpses of her, kind of how she fell in love with her husband and how that painting kind of came about. It was really neat to kind of see that, and I love how brave and strong-willed she was, and I was just gripped from her story from the beginning. But when the story kind of changes to, like, from Sophie's perspective, it's written in first person, and then when we flash forward to Liv, it's kind of a third person, so it was hard to kind of, I felt the first part of it to be very clunky and just kind of really hard to read, just kind of the transition to it. But then once I kind of got engrossed in it, like, I was just like, it was smooth sailing after that. So I really enjoyed it. I felt wasn't as connected to Liv and Paul, the two main characters from the present day, as much as I was with Sophie, but I still found their story very engrossing. And what I liked about this book is that we kind of get more information about Sophie as Liv kind of uncovers more and more about this painting kind of history and past, which I really enjoyed reading from. I think it was way it was done, how we got basically the background information about the portrait and Sophie, but we kind of learn more as Liv uncovers more, which I really liked, and kind of just how we kind of learned bit by bit as of Sophie as kind of Liv kind of uncovers that. And I liked how she was very active in kind of discovering what this history was, and I love the ending of it, the big twist, and how it kind of was open ending, and it kind of, maybe there'll be a future one, but I really enjoyed this book. So for those of you who are trying to get into like the historical fiction, I think this one is a good place to start because it does have a good balance between past and present, and the way the author depicts kind of life in France during this time. I fell in love with it. I could picture this village in my mind, and just kind of the twists and turns that this story had. It's very heartwarming, but at the same time it's very sad as well, and I really love this kind of dual storyline that we kind of get to see, and just how they each had to overcome obstacles, their own obstacles at the time. And I don't know, I really fell in love with this story. I think it was really well done. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars just because I did find the first kind of maybe 50 pages in the present day, they were hard to get attached to, but once it started to get running, I was really engrossed with it. I'm not sure if I think I like this maybe a little bit more than Me Before You, which I think is pretty shocking, but because I love that book so much. But I think this one is really good. I'm really, like, if you're interested to more of what I thought about it, I'll link my Goodreads review down below so you can go and check that out. And then this was also my book club pick, so once kind of I get responses from other people and what they thought about it, I'll kind of have a follow-up discussion video. So if you've read this and you want to contribute to that, just comment down below. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed this book. If you like The Woman in Gold, I think this one will be a good alternative for you if you're looking for kind of like a book version of that. But yeah, I loved it. I thought the legal part within the court was really well done. I loved how like the world was developed, and I could just picture it clearly during World War One. But it did take a while for me to get into kind of the present day, but once I was in, like I said, I fell in love with it. So I think a lot of people will really enjoy this. So if you're kind of looking into getting into Jojo Moyes but you don't think Me Before You is for you, I think this book will be a good place to start. This is my second book that I've read of her, and I'm excited to kind of continue more. I have her other books down here. I have 2 more on my shelf of hers that I haven't read. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really good read. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this book or if you're interested. Please let me know down below. And so yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.